Welcome to Bay Focus. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so glad you did. In just a few moments, you're going to learn about it, if you don't know about them, an organization called Vincent House. And they have multiple locations, and they work with people that are battling mental illness. And boy, are they incredible on what they do to provide a sense of community and help. You want to stay tuned. But before we get to them, today we are so honored to once again feature an incredible dramatic presentation called Judgement House that we have been talking about for many years. And I have two guests with me today to represent Judgement House. And to my left is Jim Hawkins, who is a businessman, but he has a story to tell about his involvement with Judgement House and how it changed his life and how his children came to the Lord under this, but now how he's involved. And then next to him is Faith Allen, who is the executive director for Judgement House and a retired cardiac care nurse. So I just am honored to have you both. And you both are here representing the founders of Judgement House.
Yes.
Pastor Tom and Karen Hudgens. So hi, Tom and Karen. We're used to featuring Pastor Tom on this, but we're so glad that he sent you because you guys are so involved. Faith, I'm going to start with you. For our viewers that have no clue, what is Judgement House?
Oh, I would love to tell you this and your viewers. Judgement House is a ministry that is over 40 years old. And as you mentioned, Pastor Tom and Karen are the founders of Judgement House. They created it years ago when they were youth leaders at a church in Alabama. So it's a powerful, immersive walk-through drama that presents the consequences of our choices in this life and in the life to come.
You know, and one of the things that we're going to mention it right up front, so we get this in. One of the reasons we brought them on today, there's going to be one of these Judgement House performances because they partner with local churches, and we're going to find out about that. But Lighthouse Church in St. Petersburg is going to be hosting this drama on June 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. And, you know, and we're going to be showing you on the screen that information too. But mentioning a church, and before I get to Jim, Faith, explain this to us. Number one, that it's like every 10 minutes, a tour group can walk through these.
Yes, yes.
So I mentioned a church. Is that how this predominantly works? Are churches hosting? Are there people involved?
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is one of the most beautiful aspects of Judgement House. The church itself, the congregation comes together, and they literally present the drama. The young people, the elderly people, everyone is involved. And I mean, people do registration, people do acting, people are in the parking lot helping with traffic control. It unifies a church.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the groups that are led through a Judgement House drama. You're correct. There's groups of 10 to 15 people. The people from the community are led through 7 to 8 scenes of a Judgement House drama, and that brings the drama right up close and personal to them. They're literally feet away from the actors instead of sitting in an auditorium looking up at a stage.
And you're recreating life scenes. You have various themes that you do, and it ends with a powerful representation of Judgment Day, the choice of heaven or hell. You have, but you're taking on social, I'm going to have you explain this, and then I'm going to talk to Jim. You have a theme this year. You have a story you're telling this year.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
And this is a true life story. It's about a woman, her life. Her name is Winona Paulette Sorrell, and it's about her life. And the name of the drama is Abandoned, Adopted, Addicted, and Redeemed. Wow. And it's an incredible story of how Paulette was abandoned in an airport restroom as a baby. Wow. And she was adopted by a Christian family. And you would think, oh, well, that's great, everything's perfect now. But she had a situation in her life starting around 16 where she got involved with the wrong people and became addicted to drugs. So we will find out in this drama how she was redeemed.
I absolutely love that. And you know, one of the things, Jim, I want to talk to you because The story of Judgment House is that so many people come to the Lord through seeing these real life depictions of the choices that they have to make to live in eternity with God. You guys lived that as a family. Tell us your experience.
We did. So there's moments in time of your life where you have these forks in your road. So back in the late 90s, we had two boys. My wife and I lived in the Clearwater area. And so we were attending church in that area with a youth group, and we got invited to a Judgment House up in Clearwater. So I did not know Tom and Karen at the time were the originators of that. We did not meet them that evening, but we walked through with our boys, and it was basically a story about a plane crash. And so the choices that you make in this life, whether you have accepted the Lord or not, are presented in that particular walkthrough drama. And so we got to the end of the drama. We went into the decision room with our boys, and they were so moved by what they had seen. We were moved as well, but we had been praying specifically that this would touch them. And so they made a decision, made a profession for Christ that evening. So this has really been a life-changing experience for our family. Fast forward 20 years, we start going to a church in Seminole, and Tom and Karen are pastoring there.
Yeah.
And we walk in, and the first thing we see on the wall is that they're doing Judgment House. And I told Tom my story. You know, he asked you, what is your story? So I shared with him how the boys had been saved, how we had been really changed. And so we've had an opportunity as a family to represent Judgment House in
So what does that mean? Have you any of you acted and done any roles in this?
We have, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've had an opportunity to play the judge on several occasions, which is a really, really powerful scene. And I've been a room director, and the big thing about Judgment House is that it's bathed in prayer. And so we're praying throughout the whole experience.
And then you do, this is really important because people are doing this walkthrough, but you give them an opportunity to come to the Lord, but you have teams that pray, and there's follow-up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Prayer is the foundation, absolutely. We'll notice in the decision room, if things sort of quiet down and we're not seeing salvations happening, we go through every scene and we say, you guys, we got to pray. We got to get on our faces and pray in between scenes. And it's amazing. Wow. It's amazing how Holy Spirit moves, because we're not professional actors, and none of these churches are professional actors. Yeah. It's all Holy Spirit and prayer.
And have you noticed the impact? Obviously, on anybody that's involved, I would think it'd be just such a tremendous that you're involved behind the scenes. But have you really been able to see, are people walking in off the street? Where are they coming from, and what
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sure.
Well, people do walk in off the street, they do, but mostly they're invited.
Yeah,
and that's
a really big
huge.
point.
That's huge. And people will come to a Judgment House that would never come to a Sunday service at a church.
Yeah.
And it really does take a friend or a family member to invite their community that is around them, their neighbors, their hairstylist, their barber. It takes that invitation, and they will come to a drama. They will.
Yeah, you know, I remember in the early days of this, and there was a time when churches and youth groups were doing dramatic presentations. You know, they would calling them Christian Haunted House. But I remember talking to, I remember talking to Pastor Tom about this. You know, people might come in, or groups of youth might come and think, oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to have, you know, this is good, like not take it seriously.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then they get there.
Yes.
And it's powerful.
Yes.
Life-changing.
And that's Holy Spirit.
It is.
Yeah.
Convicting hearts. This is not Christian entertainment.
Right.
This is an evangelistic tool.
Now this happens, there are opportunities here in Florida, and we're going to get to this local event again. But there's up to Florida, but this goes beyond the state of Florida, correct?
Absolutely.
Oh, it does. It's nationwide. It's been throughout the world in 9 different countries over the 40 years that it's been presented. So it is really reaching the whole world.
And so if somebody's watching and they want to I mean, I believe they can connect through the website.
Correct.
And they can actually connect, and they can get scripts, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, there's over 30
the resources
scripts.
are available.
Yes, absolutely. Once they become a ministry partner with Judgement House, this all can happen through the website, judgmenthouse.org.
Yeah.
And yeah, we provide them with scripts. They read through, they pick out the one the Lord leads them to. And then once they pick that out, we send them all the resources to promote and present their drama.
You know, I love that because you've taken the you know, if a church or other ministry organization is looking at this, they go, I wouldn't know where to start. You know, where do I get? You have it.
Yeah, and
I mean,
we
you have
train
the
them.
materials.
We train them.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We train them, and we're there. We walk them through it, and we're always available to
What's
help.
really amazing is it transforms that church that's presenting it.
Yeah.
It's a body of believers that gather together, they pray, and they come together to reach their community for Christ. And you just see God working in miraculous ways in churches as they begin to roll this ministry
Well, this is a
out.
bit of an out-of-the-box outreach.
It is.
This is different, and I love it. All right, tell us about, again, which one of you wants to tell us about the St. Pete, what's happening, the dates, times?
Yep. So it's June 19th, 20th, and 21st. This takes place in the evening. We usually start at 7 p.m. and it's being held at the Lighthouse Church in St. Petersburg. Flyers are going to be dispersed everywhere, and there is a QR code on that flyer for people to register and to get all the more information.
And this is free of charge for anybody to attend, or is there a ticketed price at when they come?
There is a price of $5.
Okay, well, that's about it. That's a deal.
Yeah, I mean, just think what you spend for a movie.
Yeah.
And this is an immersive experience.
Yeah.
You walk through it.
That's a tremendous price, and it you know, there's a cost for the materials for various things, people involved. So thank you both so much for sharing about Judgement House, and we're going to show the information on the screen again on this upcoming event in St. Petersburg. I hope you'll get out there and support and invite someone to come see this, and it may cause you to want to do one yourself, your church, your organization. And then stay tuned for more Bay Focus. We recently sat down with Vincent House. You're going to want to find out more about them. We'll be right back.
We want to hear from you. Is there an event happening in the Tampa Bay area or an organization helping the local community? If you have answers, let us know. Email us at darleneg@ctnonline.com. Find us online at ctnonline.com/bayfocus or follow us on Facebook at Bayfocus TV.
Well, we are so honored today to highlight an organization that is doing incredible work here in Central Florida. It is called Vincent House, and they work with people and way to provide a sense of community for people dealing with mental illness and struggling on that front. And we have a couple of people here today that are going to give us more information on this. Again, it's been a few years since we've had them on, and I know there's some updates. And we have Charlotte Santarat with us, and she is the program director at Vincent House. Thank you, Charlotte, for coming on today. You brought with you Emily Ray, who is the rehabilitation specialist at Vincent House. Thank you, Emily, for coming as well. And this is such a unique organization. I'm going to start with you, Charlotte. Tell us, what is Vincent House? And I know you have multiple locations.
Yeah, so I'll start with our locations first. So we currently serve Pinellas, Pasco, and Hernando County. So we have a location each of those. And what is Vincent House? It's such an amazing question. And I was talking to Emily about like what aren't we? But we help individuals diagnosed with a mental illness, a severe and persistent mental illness, get integrated back out in the community, whether it's through employment, whether it's through education, or just giving them that sense of purpose, to have something to do every single day, something to look forward to every single day. Because isolation is real. When you struggle with a mental illness, isolation is a real struggle. And just getting out of that house, taking that first step, is a huge step for a lot of individuals. And at Vincent House, we give them that opportunity.
And you do this in a variety of ways. There's a variety of services that you provide. And Emily, I'm going to just throw this to you because I know our viewers want to hear from you too. You provide a variety of services, but you do it in, you refer to this as rehabilitation because it's a way to integrate a lot of people struggling like this back in. You do something called the Clubhouse model. Tell us about that.
So the Clubhouse model, we mimic a work order day. So we teach different aspects of a workplace, and we will work with them one-on-one. It is at their pace, and we just teach different types of strong jobs where they can find out in the society, or if they stay with us and this is what they do for the rest of their lives and they volunteer with Vincent House and that's their job every day. But it gives them an opportunity to just learn different areas that are definitely very helpful for your day-to-day life, and also get them out of their shell and help them just be confident in who they are.
And this can be, and when we say Clubhouse, they're literally coming. This is where they're coming to these locations. Yeah. They have a sense of community, but there's specific things you're teaching.
Yes.
You're literally doing what? Cooking,
Everything,
technology. Tell us about that.
So it's called the work order day. So I am purposely short-staffed because I don't run the clubhouse. Emily doesn't run the clubhouse. None of our staff. It is ran by our members, and we call them members because it creates that sense of ownership. This is their clubhouse. They're not a patient. They're not a client. They're not a number. When they walk through those doors, they are a family member. And they learn those transferable skills, everything from our front reception. So when you call Vincent House and someone answers the phone, it's a member answering that phone. They learn those skills of transferring calls, So they may struggle with social anxieties or talking with people. And that is that first step of, getting through that and being able to say, hi, my name is John, thank you for calling Vincent House. And that is a huge first step for a lot of people. Our social media, you go on our Facebook page, you go on our TikTok, our Instagram, every single picture that you see is taken by our member. They learn the photography. They learn, what is the purpose of hashtags? Why are we using hashtags? They learn how to use social media. Our attendance, we have to track attendance to submit for funding. So they learned a program we use to create those reports, and they track our attendance every day. They learn Microsoft Office. So again, it's a transferable skill that they want to go back out in the community and work. They have those skills, but also it's something that they can learn at home as well.
Well, I think it's important to know, this is in addition to many of your members. Mm-hmm. They are already under treatment, correct? Explain that, how they come to you.
Yeah, so it's a referral system. They have to be currently seeing a mental health provider, a therapist, a caseworker, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. And if their mental health provider feels like they need that next step, if they have goals of working or going to school or, just building those social aspects in life, they will call me and say, hey, I have a client, can we schedule a tour? And they come in and they do a tour and they learn about Vincent House, and we sit down and we do an intake together. And then I require a psych evaluation, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I love that because it is, one of the things we were talking about before we started the show is a lot of times when they're seeing mental health specialists, it's not like they're seeing them every day.
Correct.
They're not like, it's maybe certain times of the month or whatever, but here they can come mm-hmm. on a regular basis.
Every day.
But you are not residential. You are not at this point, but you're doing something really cool. And whichever one of you wants to talk about this, you are building.
Yes.
Tell us.
So yes, we are not residential. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. But one of the struggles, I would even say nationwide, is housing.
Yeah.
So we want to provide help in that area. So we are currently building 39 tiny homes on property at our Pasco location for our members to live in. And then eventually we have plans to also build here in Pinellas County as well.
And so that's just strictly for your members, right?
Yes, strictly for our members only.
Now, that's one of the things that this has just kind of struck a chord with me. That can probably be hard for members or people dealing with mental illness, the thought of finding housing, where living maybe on their own, but fear factor on some of these launching out. So would they be living on their own, or sometimes they'd have to do the tiny homes, have to meet some level of qualifications? Probably.
Not really set qualifications. They just have to be a member. They have to, still come to Vincent House. You know, we don't want you to get in a home and then isolate. That's defeating the purpose.
Right.
But they don't have to have those goals of work. They don't have to have those goals of education. The biggest thing we look at is need. Because we don't want any of our members, living on the streets, and if that is an area where they're struggling at, then we want to be there to offer them that support.
Okay, so you've talked about some of the skills that you're training some of these your members on. Does this translate into actual employment elsewhere? Are you connected with places where they could get a job?
Absolutely. So as I talked a little bit about our clerical. We also have a massive culinary team. We have a full commercial kitchen. We are inspected by the health inspector just like any other restaurant. They get ServSafe certified, that they can then use that on their resume if they have a choice or if they choose to. But one thing that's really unique to Clubhouse that all 370 clubhouses internationally follow is a program called Transitional Employment. And Vincent House partners with now 6 employers out in the community, the Chamber of Commerce, Directions for Living, Suncoast Center, Salty Sisters Gourmet Popcorn, which is our newest one, Digigon, the Public Defender's Office, and these employers hold one position for our members, for Vincent House member only. There's no job interview. We follow their hiring requirements. If they require, a background check or a drug screen, we do those. But this is an opportunity for our members to work that position for 6 to 9 months to build that resume and build that job experience. Vincent House staff are trained on these jobs. So we are the ones that train our member at the job. So it takes away that daunting aspect of working with someone new and having a new boss and having new coworkers. So we will spend all day with them until they learn that job and then gradually start to back off until they can work that job independently. But we're always there to support them. So we do check-ins. If they are having a bad mental health day, we will go and we'll work that day with them so they can have that extra support. Or if they have a doctor's appointment and they have to miss work, we will go and fill that position for them. So the employer is always having the job is always getting done, and our member is never in jeopardy of losing that position. So from there, they can work one transitional employment or they can work all 6. They range from 3 hours a week to 20 hours a week. They move into supportive employment and independent employment. So we are a vendor for vocational rehabilitation, which is through the Department of Education. And that's when we help with pre-placement training, building those resumes. We talk about everything from conflict resolution to personal hygiene, things that we need to know to be successful in work. We do mock interviews.
This is a huge part of what you do.
A huge part of what we do. And there is an 80 to 90% unemployment rate with individuals living with mental illness. And 65% of our members are currently employed.
Wow.
In the last 3 quarters of our fiscal year, our members have brought in over $700,000 in earnings.
So that is really good if there's an employer out there
absolutely.
Watching. And then we also want to say, and we're running out of time, but pastors, if you're watching and you need, in your churches, you need a place where for people need additional help that are battling mental illness. If you're counseling with someone at your church, here's a place they can go and find community.
Absolutely.
Be with other people that are going through some of the same thing, learn some skills. All right, how can our viewers help you? You know, funding, you know, you need funding, et cetera.
So 50% of our funding comes from the state. The other 50%, you know, comes from donors and grants and fundraising. We have an open door policy. Anyone is more than welcome to ever come walk through our doors, take a tour, meet our staff, meet our members. But yes, if you want to, you know, write a one-time check, or if you want to be a monthly donor, those are always open. You can always visit our website, which is vincenthouse.org.
All right, final quick question. You don't have a lot of time to answer this, but either one of you, I don't know if you want to respond to this. What has been the most rewarding thing for you? And let me throw it to Emily here, let her get a chance.
Yeah.
What has been rewarding? You work day to day with these people.
I do work day to day. So I work in the kitchen. I'm one of the staff in there. And just seeing a lot of folks come in and just be like, I've never cooked before, the kitchen scares me, or I can't make that, or I've never baked before, and just, you know, taking that time to really do that one-on-one and just seeing them be like at the end, wow, I can't believe I've made that. I'm gonna make it at home, or I'm gonna make it with my parents, or just seeing that they can make these things at home that's not that scary, and then they're excited to come in the next day and they're like, I just want to go into culinary. And I just seeing that excitement really is the most rewarding part.
Just taking them from point A to point B, and how they relax in it and quickly. Charlotte, what about you?
I love seeing the steps, whether it's a baby step or a massive step. I'll just give a quick testimony really quick. We had a member come to us. He heard we go and speak at different behavioral health hospitals, and he was in one of the programs there. And he had a hood over his head and had no hope in life. And he was like, let me try what this Vincent House is. He worked one of our transitional employments. He was a registered nurse previously, and fell in love with healthcare again. And now he's working as a psychiatric nurse at the same hospital where he was a patient. So seeing that full circle come to life, and seeing people find like, okay, there's not just one road for me, but there's multiple roads for me.
Wow, Charlotte, that is fabulous. Thank you both so much for coming on. Stay tuned on the screen. You're going to see how you can contact Vincent House, and we will be right back. Well, I want to thank my guest today. Thanks to Vincent House, and I know you'll support their organization, what incredible work they're doing. And then also, I hope you'll get out and support Judgement House coming up June 19th, 20th, and 21st at Lighthouse Church in St. Petersburg. And I want to thank you for watching the show each week. I want to hear from you. You're going to see information on the screen on how you can contact me directly. I want to know what's going on here in the Tampa Bay area. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. May God richly bless you.